Now, last night we told you about a Conservative nomination race in the southern Alberta riding of McLeod. That's heating up. Well, tonight we head north to the provincial capital and the riding of Edmonton-St. Albert, where another Conservative nomination race is heating up. This is the riding, of course, where Brent Rathgeber has won 2 general elections running as a Conservative, but Rathgeber quit the Conservative caucus earlier this year. He was unhappy that one of his legislative goals had been skewered by an overbearing PMO. Rathgeber is now sitting as an independent MP, which means the Conservatives need to find someone to take him on in the 2015 general election. So far, we've got lawyer Jordan Cooper, who has announced he wants a job. And this week, Cooper got a rival, Ryan Hastman. Ryan Hastman, welcome to the program. Great to see you. The last time I saw you, I think we were chatting about provincial politics because you were trying to help Danielle Smith become premier. Almost made it. But what I want to ask you about this one, Ryan, your background also includes working in the PMO, the very PMO that Brent Rathgeber railed about. Might that present a bit of an interesting dynamic if, in fact, you are the candidate he's facing?
Hi, David. Well, thanks for having me on the show today. You know, what I'm focusing on is what I'm hearing from people just like me, families, taxpayers, folks who are trying to raise their kids. St. Albert-Edmonton is probably the best place in Canada to do so, and I'm going to be there to represent their voice at the table.
But certainly Brent, if you're the guy, I would assume he is, if I was him, I would say, well, listen, you're one of those PMO guys and you don't believe in an independent thinking MP, and presumably that's what Rathgeber wants voters to think about when they cast a ballot for him. How do you address that?
Well, I can't speculate on what he's thinking, but I do know that politics and Ottawa is a team endeavor, and I know that the constituents of St. Albert-Edmonton need an MP who can work with his colleagues, who is a voice at the table, not just a voice from the outside, but someone who can actually get results. You know, I have a lot of respect for Brent. I consider him to be a friend, but I think he made the wrong choice for St. Albert-Edmonton. I think St. Albert-Edmonton deserves someone who has a voice at the table.
Now, you were also a candidate in 2011, Edmonton-Strathcona. That's where Linda Duncan, the New Democrat, won. So let me ask you about deciding to take a shot at this one, knowing that there will be, I think, 6 new ridings in Alberta come 2015. So there'll be lots of chances. They'll be looking for candidates like yourself elsewhere, but you think this is the right one for you?
Sure. Well, quickly on that, you know, Edmonton-Strathcona was a great experience. I had door knocked for over 2 years. I got to know tens of thousands of constituents, and I had an amazing time. What's changed since then is that I've had a couple of kids. And as a dad of 2, St. Albert-Edmonton is where I'm raising my kids. It's where my family connections are. It's where the vast majority of our friends and family live. We're putting our kids through school there, and we'll be living there shortly. So for me, this is a chance to represent my community and my, my neighbors. And so for me, this is home, and I'm really looking forward to giving my community a voice at the table.
Now, as I mentioned in the opening there, Ryan, there is going to be a nomination race in McLeod, of course, and we will see a by-election in McLeod before the next general election. But if you win, you'll be facing off in the new general election, and there will be new riding boundaries. And I think Edmonton-St. Albert does have its riding boundary tweaked a little bit. Give me your sense, because I know you were involved in that process and thought about it a lot. What's your sense about how the new riding arrangements in Edmonton may affect overall Conservative support, because they're much more urban? They don't have a lot of that rural component now.
Yeah, well, a couple things. So one of the ways that this riding changed is the name. Instead of being called Edmonton-St. Albert, it's now being called St. Albert-Edmonton.
Ooh, okay.
Other than that, it actually didn't change a whole lot. Some of them did. St. Albert-Edmonton, other than the name flip, is basically the same thing. So you have the entire city of St. Albert and a piece of Northwest Edmonton. The dynamics in some of the ridings have changed, but you know, whether you're downtown Edmonton on 100th Ave and 100th Street, or you're out in Main Street, St. Albert, people here are conservative, and they're going to vote for the Harper Conservatives. You know, we like safe communities, we like low taxes, we like a strong Canadian voice in foreign affairs. So I'm not that concerned about the other seats, but I do think that St. Albert-Edmonton deserves a voice who is going to speak to their issues and who understands their concerns.
We were just talking among ourselves, and you know, this is, I of course should have looked this up before I went on TV tonight, but as far as I know, there has not been a date yet set for the actual nomination vote in your riding. Do you have some thoughts about earlier, later? Do you want to get the candidate ready to go and get at least a couple of years in, knocking on doors?
Yeah, well, I certainly don't shy away from tough, long fights, so I'd like to get on it. You know, I think it'll probably be done sometime in the early spring, although that remains to be seen. Regardless, we've started now. You know, at a nomination level, it's about memberships. And so we've been selling memberships, reaching out to the community, looking to grow the party base. You know, we are a member-driven party, and the members get to play a real role in distinguishing what policies the politicians bring forward. So I say the sooner the better would be great. I think we're going to have a great election against Brent, and I'm really looking forward to bringing these ideas forward for the voters to decide.
Brian Hastman, best of luck, and hope to talk to you about it again soon. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem.